Hi teachers, welcome to our final week in Seed 508, the 7 through 12 Diverse Learner. Even though this is the last week in our course, I know that you are going to continue on your journey of lifelong learning to become the best teacher that you possibly can. So that being said, I've got some information that I want you to revisit and also some new information to learn about that you can use in your future practicum or your future classroom. I'm going to ask you to go back to the InTask standards document. One of the things that's nice, matter of fact, they just revised this document this weekend. It was not available when I was looking for it, but one of the changes that they made was they took off the word new, because the InTask standards are not just for new teachers. These are standards that all practicing teachers should be making certain that they are addressing in their classrooms. With this document, of course, we've got our 10 InTask standards, but the thing that is really nice when you get down here to, I guess it starts at page 14, each of the standards is disaggregated into critical information, performances, the essential knowledge about that standard, and then the critical dispositions that a teacher must possess. And if there's anything with my 408 and 508 classes that I want to make clear is you are teaching all students. You must have the disposition that all of your students can learn, and please look at each of your students' assets, what they bring to your classroom rather than their deficits, what might be missing. Also, later on, they've got progressions for the groups of standards there. So this would be a document that I recommend that you put into your live binder. I'm just recommending. I'm not going to look to see if it's there, but this document is something that you'll be using for the rest of your teaching career if you want to be an effective teacher, and I know all of you do. That's why you've come back and are a part of Project Second, to make a difference in students' lives. After looking at the InTask standards, please review the Framework for Teaching Evaluation Instrument. Throughout the semester, you are asked to read the book, The Framework for Teaching, about the 4 different domains that Charlotte Danielson espouses. The Danielson framework is what the state of South Dakota uses to evaluate teachers. But again, when we're talking about evaluation, it's about growth. You will not be hired so that the principal will be looking for a new teacher in the next year. And hopefully, once you are hired, you will continue to grow in your learning. So just review that. Again, this would be a great document to put into your live binder for future reference. There is also a nice correlation document that shows how the InTask standards, which you learn in college and then will continue practicing throughout your professional teaching career, how they relate to the 4 domains of Charlotte Danielson's Framework for Teaching. So this is another nice document to refer to later on. Because the word evaluation is included in the Charlotte Danielson framework, that sometimes intimidates teachers. I have Mr. Morford, who is the Spearfish High School principal, come and speak to my Seed 408 students to talk to them why learning about the Charlotte Danielson Framework for Teaching is important, because that's what we spend 8 weeks of my 408 class doing. And anyway, I've posted the recording. It's optional here, but one of the takeaways that I think is important for new teachers and all teachers to understand is that the principal should be your partner. He is not sure, he might have in the hierarchy, he's higher than you, but Mr. Morford will be the first person to tell you that at the end of the school year, if a teacher has failed to progress in their classroom with the 4 domains, then he has failed as a principal. So it is a partnership. And remember to think of it that way rather than a hierarchy. For your future classroom, a website that I learned about last spring through one of my special ed teachers that was working in the classroom but was not yet certified, had not received her degree, etc. She told me about PBIS World and positive behavior interventions and supports. This would be a great resource to put in your live binder. And how this works is, first off, you've got an issue with a student in your class. Let's say that it's lying and cheating, which hopefully we don't have that. This right now, we're on the tier 1 level. Notice that there's 3 tiers. And so here are some of the conditions. Then you can say, does this describe the student? So if you say yes, then click on it. If it's no, you'll just go back and look for a different categorization. And so here are some of the interventions that you could use. Notice that there's links to each of them. Avoid power struggles, which is something we want to do. So notice how it says, why should I do it? When should I do it? How do I do it? So this hopefully will be a resource that you will continue to go back and access throughout the rest of your teaching career. But you can see throughout this, there are several different behaviors that you may have already witnessed, but our job as future educators is to look and find positive solutions to the situations rather than negative. So PBIS World should be a great start for you. And then as I've said earlier, there's tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. There's also a place where there's resources for tracking data on students, and also a forum where you can join and increase your educational network. As a beginning teacher, we sometimes think that we're all alone, but you're not. And the more that you reach out to your past professors, your clinical educators, go to conferences, and use forums and webinars, the more you're going to learn. So I hope that you use this frequently. Another great resource that I just found last week and have used it in my SEED 408 class is the Get to Know You survey. Now, when you complete the PPAT during your student teaching experience, you will have to have a student interest inventory that is submitted as part of task 1. But this student back to school inventory is not a replacement for the student interest inventory. However, it is very cool. You can sign up for free and there is a video to watch, but I'm going to sign in just so that you can see what I've done already. With my SEED 408 class, I just said I made it optional if they would go and fill out the survey. But before the students fill out the survey, you do. And then you send the survey link to your students, which, matter of fact, I'm going to send my link. I will send my link down here to you as well. But what this will do is after you fill it out, it tells the teacher 5 things that you have in common with the student, and also the student receives that same information to show again that you do have things in common. This is just a great way to make a connection with your future students, to show that you do have commonalities. There are reflection questions that after you see the information that you can fill it out. I hope that you use this, and again, it's going to be optional to fill out the survey link that I will be sending you, but you'll get to see it from the student's perspective if you do. Hopefully in this last week, these resources have been useful for you. I have so enjoyed reading through your discussion posts and the support that you've provided each other. I am confident that all of you are going to make effective educators, and I hope you stay in touch. If there's anything I can do to assist you in your future, please let me know. And then lastly, if there's suggestions that you have to strengthen the course, please let me know. This was my pioneering semester. I already know of things that do need to be changed after week 11 and all of the additional stress that was added on, finding out that you're going to have to complete PPAT task 4 and videotape, etc. That will be rectified for next fall's class. Keep up the great work and finish this semester strong. Thanks for listening.